Welcome to Lesson 1-3, Section D. We're first going to look at this section is going to be really short. It's just going to look at diagrams and what we can and cannot assume from a diagram. We can assume that any lines that look straight are straight. Oh, pen would be nice. Okay. If it looks like two lines that are intersecting at a point, they are. There's a point there, we just may or may not see it. The order of the labeled points is accurate. So if D looks like it's in between A and C, it actually is. If it looks like an angle is formed by two lines, segments, or rays, it is. So looking at this diagram, I can see that there is an angle. Where's my little red laser pointer? There we go. There's an angle ADE. There's a line AC with point D in between A and C. Point D is in between B and E, so on and so forth. Things we cannot assume. We cannot assume anything to be congruent unless it's marked, even if you measure them. Okay? One segment may not be assumed to be longer than another, even if it's drawn that way. A point cannot be assumed to be the midpoint of a segment. That's the point in the middle, right? Even if it looks like it's in the center, we have to mark it. Angles may not be assumed to be right angles, even if you want them to be. Two angles may not be assumed to be congruent, even if you measure them. One angle may not be assumed to be larger than the other, even if you measure it. Angles may not be assumed to be acute or obtuse, even if they're drawn that way. So looking at this diagram, I can say things about the positioning of the points, the positioning of the angles, their intersections, and I can assume that lines are straight. But anything to do with length or measurement, I cannot assume. So I can't determine if something's a midpoint. I can't tell you if something is shorter than something else. That's basically what it boils down to. There's so little that you can assume from a diagram until we start marking things. So that is the end of section D. Thank you.